And he says something specific. He says, pray that you may not enter into temptation. That word temptation is an interesting one because in the Greek, it could both mean temptation or it could mean trial. So Jesus isn't just saying, pray that you don't sin. Instead, he's saying, pray that you can withstand what's coming. Because I know that this trial is coming, this big thing is coming, and I need you guys to pray because it's about here. This is a breaking point. And it feels like everything could unravel, the moment where it feels like evil could actually win. But right there, in the middle of that moment, in the middle of that pressure, Jesus is there. And what's he doing? He's praying. He's praying. And he invites his disciples, and really he invites us to do the same. Because here's what Jesus knows that they don't fully understand yet. That if you don't pray ahead of your breaking point, if you're not in prayer when the breaking point hits, you won't stand when it does. And so before it gets crazy, before the night gets crazy, before the moment gets crazy, Jesus is offering an invitation to his disciples. Pray. Pray that you may not enter into temptation. And at his breaking point, Jesus doesn't run, he surrenders. I love this line. He says, remove this cup. That's honesty. Nevertheless, that's surrender. And I want us to hear this clearly. Surrender isn't the absence of desire, it's a submission of desire. Let me say that again. Surrender is not the absence of our desire, it's the submission of our desire. And if you're in a moment where you feel like this cup is not being removed from you, I want you to hear that God has not abandoned you, that he's here strengthening you. Because the good news of the gospel is that God meets us in our breaking points. There is where we will find him in the midst of it. We don't know when the breaking points of life come. We don't know when it's happening, but Jesus is reminding us, hey, stay prayed up. Pray that you may not enter into temptation. So when everything in life gets crazy, that you won't react just in the flesh in the moment. Because, man, if we're honest, if we take a step back after like reacting in the flesh, we're like, ooh, that was an ugly scene, right? Because when we react in the flesh, we send the text message that ends up biting us in the butt for years to come. When we react in the flesh, we end up saying something in a conversation that we later have to apologize for. When we react in the flesh, we end up spending a whole night awake, worried and racked with worry and anxiety rather than trust in the Lord. When we react in the flesh, nothing good happens. And friends, we react in the flesh because we're not prepared through prayer often. Jesus is working this whole thing out. And that's the great news, friends. That despite our idiotic moments at times, where we react in the flesh, where we just, we're not prayed up, we're not prepared, and so we just do something dumb. Jesus is there. Jesus can even work through our dumb moments, our human moments, our things, and he can bring things back together. That's the beauty of grace. That's the beauty of God. It's the beauty of Jesus working in the midst of the chaos. What does that show us? That at the crux of our breaking points, a surrendered life matters. A prayed up life matters. We all know what breaking points feel like. We've experienced them. And we all know that they can feel overwhelming, that it feels like everything is falling apart at times, where darkness seems to be winning. That in this moment, that where everything kind of shouts, this is the end, Luke 22 tells us a different story. That we can have confidence in our breaking points, and that God is in them with us, and that He is working in them, and that He will meet us in those moments if we will allow Him. Jesus said the prayer that you and I should pray often: God, this is what I want, but nevertheless, not my will,